Hi, if you're watching this, you're probably in one of my classes and I just asked you to do something like this assignment. Find and combine at least 3 sounds from freesound.org. I want to walk you through the steps to do that. I think it's actually pretty easy, don't worry. So the first thing you have to do, obviously, is go to freesound.org, where I'm already logged in because I look up there and I see it. I've already searched for 3 sounds that I've decided so you don't have to sit there and watch me do it. You saw my first one, I searched cassette rewind. I don't know why, I just thought, what's a sound I like? So I searched something totally random. It's totally okay for you to search anything you want. I clicked this first one. Oh, you didn't hear the beginning, sorry. Very subtle, kind of a small sound of a cassette, but to me, it's something I remember playing with as a child. So I clicked the title of it, which brings me to a page just about that sound where I can see who posted it, and I can also download it. I've actually already downloaded that one, so I won't do it now. I'm going to leave this page open though, so I can cite this sound later. My second sound, I started thinking, well, what did I do on cassette? So I listened to 80s music. So I just searched 80s music and I got 1,600 responses. I kind of like this one here. I already listened to a little bit. You can see on this page, I can click in various places to hear. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Much cooler, right? I could just do this all day. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, I'll do that one. So again, I can click the title, I can click download. Obviously, you should know where you're saving stuff. I made a special folder for sound exercises, and then this specific sound exercise, I encourage you to do something like that too. I hit save. Okay, now I've got it. My third tab here, I started thinking, I don't know, how do I feel when I use tapes to listen to 80s music? And I thought, well, I'm happy. So I was like, what if I search the word happy? Oh, well, I don't want happy birthday. I don't want Merry Christmas. I don't know. And then I saw this happy humming. Totally random. You don't know what you're going to find on Freesound. Fine. That's good enough for now. Remember, all this exercise is asking you to do is to show that you can mix 3 sounds together. I don't really even care what they are. You could just search random and get the first 3. But again, I like it. It's interesting. It looks like there's nothing in my folder. That's actually because my first one was an FLAC file, a FLAC file. My second one was a WAV file. My third one is an MP3 file. All of that is okay because Audacity, the program I'm going to use to combine them, can handle all kinds of audio. So I'm going to save. Great. So now I'm going to go into Audacity, which hopefully you've seen and played with a little bit by now. And I need to get my 3 sounds in there. So I'm just going to simply drag them in. So if I go to my folder, I can see my 3 sounds. Again, 3 different types of files. So I'm going to just drag them in one at a time. I could probably do them all at once. I'm not sure. And I know it worked because I see something there. If you've never used Audacity before, don't worry that there's 2 lines. That just shows that it's in stereo. The left side is a little different from the right side. I'm going to do that with all 3 of these. Drag my audio in. Sometimes I might get a little warning saying, whoa, are you sure you want to copy this in, or do you want to do... if it gives you a choice and it says one is safer, always choose the safer option. Long story, I'll tell you more later. Finally, I'll drag this one in. And there it is. So if I scroll up and down, I can see that all 3 of those are there. I can do this little trick where I can do view fit vertically, where I can see all 3. I can see seconds at the top. So my longest one is 16 seconds long, and my shorter ones are obviously shorter. So what should I do? Well, I don't really know. The main thing I think you'll probably be doing here is using this tool. If you hover over it, it says time shift tool. You notice if I click that, I can move any of these tracks however I want. Now you notice they're all moving at the same time. That's actually because I have a thing called sync lock on. It's this button over here. When sync lock is on, every track moves at the same time. If I unclick it, I can just move one at a time. That's better for my choice right now. In general though, I want my sound of the tape thing to start. I want some 80s music a little later, and then I want things to sound happy later. I mean, that's the whole thing. So I'm just going to try that basic idea and see how that sounds. Okay, that's actually okay. If I saved this and exported it, that would actually be something that you would be allowed to turn in and would get full credit for. One thing I don't love though is that this music here was so loud, and this sound effect was kind of quiet. So I'm going to do one more thing again, which is optional. I'm going to click this envelope tool. And what the envelope tool lets me do is make certain parts louder or quieter. So I'm going to click this part that was kind of loud, grab it, and you see when I grab it and hold my button, I can make it taller and shorter, and that actually equals louder and quieter. So I'm going to make that a little smaller. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Now it's more complicated than that, but that's kind of the basic idea. So let me try that again. So I still think that's kind of loud. So what I'm going to do is expand this so I have a little more space to play with and try to shrink this a little bit more. Now I can click anywhere I want on this band to show it to start. So I'm just gonna click here and see. I could still hear the tape. I love it. I wish I got more of that like tape sound at the very end, and I want the whole thing to cut off right there. So again, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to click the select tool, which is a different tool we haven't used yet, and click at the place I want to stop. And what the select tool lets me do is select things, right? I can hold it down, select what I want, and then I'm just going to hit delete. Bam. So now watch when I start right about here. I love it. The humming keeps going, but I can hear the click track. Again, you don't have to do any of this, but I don't know. I think it makes it a little nicer. So I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to save the whole project. I did that with Control S. It's also under the File menu. Because I have a nice little folder where I'm saving this stuff, Remix Sounds, I'm just going to put it right there. I'll call it SE1, Sound Experiment 1, Remix 3 Sounds. So now I can close this and come back and edit this more later, but I can't save that AUP file I just saved. I mean, I can't share it. No one else can listen to it. So I need to do some exporting here. So I'm going to do File, Export. Okay, so the kind of file I want to export it as, I have a lot of options here. I can choose MP3, which of course we've all heard of. Sometimes that gets a little complicated for a lot of reasons I don't want to go into yet in the class. WAV is a really safe choice. I'm just going to choose a WAV file. If I want to see what kind of WAV or anything like that, I can sometimes choose options. I can't in this case, so whatever. Obviously, I can give it a file name if I want. That's a fine one for me, so I'll hit save. Often it'll ask for this kind of thing. Sometimes it'll fill in some messy stuff from the files you imported. You can clear that out if you want. But I could, if I wanted, say like, oh, well, my name's Kyle Stedman, and this is Sound Experiment 1. Remix 3 Sounds. If I want, I could say this is the album ENGL 3 Sounds. You don't have to do any of that, just if you feel like it. So I hit export and OK. So I think it's OK. I think it's there now. If I go back, I should see it there, a WAV file, that if I play this 11-second track, it should be exactly what I want. Okay, so now I've made this for the class. What am I going to do now? Well, I need to upload it, right? So I'm going to go to SoundCloud. I'm going to make sure I'm logged in. I know I am because there's me up there, and I'll hit upload. I can drag that file here if I want it. Can I do that? Let's just find out. It'll be kind of fun. Can I drag that into here? I can. Awesome. So it wants to know the public title that people are actually going to see. So I'll just make it a little clearer so other people who might come across this will know what it is. I'll call it Sound Experiment 1, Remix 3 Sounds. Maybe I'll even give it a little bit more and say Happy 80s. What is the genre here? Geez, I don't know. I'll call it learning because I don't know. That sounds right. I think it's going to force you to add some kind of tags. I can do 80s. I could do synth. I could do happy. I could do cassette. I could do ENGL 371. I could do class. I have to spell it right. I could do test, whatever you want. Now, I did ask you to cite your sources here so people know where you got your stuff. So I'm going to simply say this. The 3 sounds heard here are that one. I'm using Control C and Control V. You know about that, right? That one and that one. I'm giving credit where it's due. It's also technically the legal thing to do. These Creative Commons licenses sometimes ask you to do certain kinds of things. I have to give attribution. Long story, we'll talk about it later. That's good enough. If I type that, that's fine. If you want to say more, you can. I'm okay if you make this public or private. I don't have anything to worry about, so I'm just going to leave it at public there. You see there's a couple other tabs here if I want, blah, 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 blah. Man, that's crazy. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Do I want people to download it? Or again, I don't care. So just hit save. What I should get here is a link to actually let people listen specifically to that track. Let's just listen to make sure it actually worked. Okay, I mean that's pretty quiet. Maybe I should have gone through and made the whole thing a little bit louder, but oh well, that's what I did. So we're beginning. So I'm gonna copy that link to my post. I'm gonna go here to Canvas, hit reply, post a link to my piece so other people can see it on SoundCloud. And then again, I want to cite my sources. So can I just like copy this whole thing, copy, paste? That's great. And then if I want, I can say like optional extra text, something like I love the 80s. I love the cassettes, the music, and everything. So that led to this piece. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. I'm going to post my reply, and then it should show up there. People should be able to link straight to it. That's it. Okay, bye.